Final review number 2. Final review number 2. Solve each of these using the most appropriate method. I want to solve for x. That means I want this to equal 0. I have 3 terms, so I'm going to go ahead and factor. What multiplies to be 10 and adds to be negative 7? Well, that's going to be negative 5 and negative 2. So you have 0 is equal to x minus 5 times x minus 2. If I FOIL that out, I get x squared minus 5x minus 2x is negative 7x plus 10. This is equal to 0. That means x minus 5 is equal to 0. Add 5 to both sides, x is equal to 5. Or I have x minus 2 is equal to 0. Add 2 to both sides, x is equal to 2. Those are my 2 answers. Let's try the next one. X plus 3 squared equals 36. This is a quantity squared by itself, so I'm going to square root both sides. On the left side, I'm going to get x plus 3 is equal to, whenever I take a square root, it has to be plus or minus 6. So this tells me I'm going to have x plus 3 is equal to 6. Subtract 3. So x is equal to 3. Or the other option, we have x plus 3 is equal to negative 6. Subtract 3 again. X is equal to negative 9. Those are my 2 answers. Number 3, I want to get the x squared by itself. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. You get 3x squared is equal to 147. We're going to get x squared by itself by dividing both sides by 3. I get x squared is equal to, use your calculator if you like. This is 49. I'm going to square root both sides. X is equal to plus or minus 7. Last problem. Let's see what we can do with this. If I want to try to do this, I'd have to use California method. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. What multiplies to be negative 10 and adds to be negative 10, there's no number. So what I have to do is solve this by the quadratic formula. So you're going to say A is 2, B is negative 10, C is negative 5. And we're going to say x is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of negative 10 squared minus 4 times A times C. So negative 4 times 2 times negative 5 all over 2 times A. So 2 times 2. Simplify. X is equal to negative 10 is 10 plus or minus the square root of negative 10 squared is 100. 4 times 2, negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times negative 5 is going to be plus 40. Divide by 2 times 2 is 4. Keep going. 10 plus or minus the square root of 140. Divide by 4. If I was going to do this and I wanted an approximate answer, I could plug that into my calculator. 10 plus the square root of 140 divided by 4, one answer. 10 minus the square root of 140 divided by 4, my second answer. If I want an actual exact answer, or 2 exact answers, I'm going to 10 plus or minus square root of 140 or the square root of 4, 10 to the square root of 35, divide by 4. So this becomes x is equal to plus or minus, 10 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2 square root 35 over 4, and that'll reduce to 5 plus or minus the square root of 35 over 2. How did I get that? Well, I divided a 2 out of both of these and got 2 times 5 plus or minus the square root of 35, and reduced that with the 4 underneath. All right, let's try the next one. It's number 5. Well, how do we solve these? 3 x squared plus 7x minus 6. Again, the first thing I want to try is California method. What multiplies to be negative 18 and adds to be 7. I'm going to come up with a 9 and a 2. And I want a positive 9 and a negative 2 to get a positive 7. So then I'm going to go 3x over 9, 3x over negative 2. 3x over 9 is x over 3. So this is x plus 3 times 3x minus 2. This is equal to 0, so that means x plus 3 is equal to 0. Subtract 3, x is equal to negative 3. It also means that 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, add 2. 3x is equal to 2, divide by 3, x is equal to 2/3. Those are my two answers. Okay, number 6, again. What I want to do on number 6 is I want to take this ugly little negative out. I want to solve, so that means I want 0 to equal negative x squared plus x plus 30. I'm going to divide out negative 1. But when I do that, since I'm solving, I can now divide by that negative 1 and get 0 is equal to x squared minus x minus 30. And now I can just use basic factoring. What multiplies to be negative 30 and adds to be negative 1? That's going to be negative 6 and positive 5. All right. So that means I'm going to have x minus 6 times x plus 5. That's equal to 0 still. So x minus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 6. Or x plus 5 is equal to 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. Those are my two answers. Number 7. Again, I've been doing all of this. Let's see what we can do here. This is a perfect square, but 125 is not. So let's see if we can do this by factoring. What multiplies to be negative 125 and adds to be 20? So what multiplies to be 125 and adds to be 20? Go to my calculator and do negative 125 divide by x. Go to my table. 1 and 125 won't work. 2, 3, and 4 work. 5 and negative 25. I want this to be a negative 125 and a positive 20. So it's going to be a negative 5 and a positive 25. And that's going to be my factors. So then I'm going to have x minus 5 times x plus 25 is equal to 0. So then x minus 5 is equal to 0. So add 5. X is equal to 5. Or x minus 25 is equal to 0. Add 25. X is equal to 25. See, I messed up. This is x minus 25. I need to subtract 25 to both sides. So x is equal to negative 25. I get ahead of myself in my head. All right, and number 8. I know I'm kind of putting this into the corner. I have an x squared here. I don't have an x term, so I'm just going to add 12 to both sides. 4x squared is equal to 256. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I'm going to get x squared is equal to 64. I'm going to square root both sides, and x is equal to 8 and negative 8. All right, so that was number 8. Next section, changing forms of quadratics. I set mine up a little differently. Let's go ahead and do this. Number 1, change each of these into the specified form. I want this in polynomial. Remember, polynomial is y polynomial is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. I want to get rid of all of the parentheses. So on this first one, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remember that x minus 6 squared is x minus 6 times x minus 6. So this is y minus 3 is equal to 2 times, if I FOIL this out, I get x squared. That's my first. My outer is negative 6x. My inner is negative 6x. My last is a positive 36, close parentheses. Combine like terms, y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x squared minus 12x plus 36. Distribute the 2. Y minus 3 is equal to 2x squared minus 24x plus 72. I just multiplied everything by 2. Lastly, I need to get the y by itself by adding 3. So y is equal to 2x squared minus 24x plus 75. There's my answer. Let's try letter B. For me, it's off to the side. For you, it's right underneath. I want to write this in factored form. That means I need to factor it. So to factor this, I'm going to use California method. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. What multiplies to be negative 12 and adds to be negative 11? Well, that's going to be a negative 12 and a positive 1. But this is California method, so I have to write 6x over negative 12. I have to write 6x over 1. This reduces by 6 to be x over negative 2. This does not reduce, so I have x minus 2 times 6x plus 1. And I do know that this is equal to y still. And that's factored form. You can put the y equals in front if that's helpful. Let's try letter C. Polynomial form. Remember, polynomial form means to get rid of all the parentheses. Okay, letter C. I want to get rid of my parentheses. So this is y equals negative 5 times. FOIL this out. First, x squared. Outer is 1x. Inner is negative 3x. Last, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So combine like terms, y equals negative 5 times x squared. 1x minus 3x is negative 2x minus 3. Now I need to distribute the negative 5. So y is equal to negative 5x squared plus 10x plus 15. No more parentheses. That is my polynomial form. Letter D, 2 vertex form. Remember, whenever it says 2 vertex form, you pull out your handy dandy calculator. You go to y equals. You plug in your equation. X minus 3, x plus 5. Okay? I want to find my vertex. I'm going to hit zoom 6 to get a generic window. I cannot see my vertex. I need to make my y's go further down. So I'm going to make my y, instead of having it be negative 10 in my minimum, let's make it negative 25. I don't know, I'm guessing. Graph. I can see my minimum. If I can see it, I can find it. So I'm going to hit second, trace. I want number 3, minimum. Hit enter. Left bound, I'm going to move my arrow to my blinky spider is to the left of this bottom number. Hit enter. Right bound, I'm going to move my arrow, my blinky spider, so it is to the right of this bottom number. Hit enter twice. This is negative 1 and this is negative 6. So I have found that my h comma k is negative 1 That wasn't a negative 6, that's a negative 16. Now, if I remember vertex form, y is equal to a x minus h quantity squared plus k. My a here is the same as a of here, so it's 1. So it's 1. X minus a negative 1 is x plus 1 squared plus k means minus 16. That's my vertex form. Okay, let's try E. I want this in factored form. Again, I have to get it into polynomial or standard form and then factor it. So the first thing I have to do is get rid of all the parentheses. Y plus 8 is equal to 2 times. X minus 1 squared is x minus 1 times x minus 1. So y plus 8 is equal to 2 times. First, x squared. Outer, negative x. Inner, negative x. Last, plus 1. Y plus 8 is equal to, combine like terms, 2 times x squared. Negative x minus x is a negative 2x plus 1. Now I distribute the 2. Y plus 8 is equal to 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times a negative 2x is a negative 4x. 2 times 1 is plus 2. Lastly, I have to get rid of this 8. So I have y is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 6, because 2 minus 8 is negative 6. But I'm still not done. This is polynomial or standard form. They are asked for it in factored form. So I need to factor this. I need to start by taking out a greatest common factor. That's supposed to be a 2, and it got kind of funky. Okay. What multiplies to be negative 3 and adds to be negative 2? Well, that's negative 3 and 1. So y is equal to 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. And that is factored form. All right. Last of these for this page, we have letter F. I want this in vertex form. Again, whenever it says into vertex form, I go straight to my calculator. I hit y equals. I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to have x squared minus 6x minus 6. I want to find the vertex, so I need to see it, so I'm going to hit zoom 6 to have a generic window. Again, my y needs to go down, so I'm going to go window, and again, I'm going to make this negative 25. If I can see the vertex, I can find the vertex. It's right there. Second trace to go to the calc menu. Number 3 is my minimum. I'm on the left of my minimum, so I'm going to hit enter. I need an arrow over. I'm now to the right of my minimum, so I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit enter again. 3, negative 15. 3, negative 15. So that's my h and my k. And again, remember, vertex form is y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. My a is the same as what's up here. It's 1 x minus 8, so x minus 3 squared plus k. K is negative 15, so it's minus 15. All right, let's go to the next page, please. All right, word problems. A toy rocket blasts off from the ground and peaks in 6 seconds at 576 feet. Assume the relationship between height and time is quadratic, and let the value of a be negative 16. So I know that a is negative 16. The peak is at 576. So that's my h and k. So in vertex form, I have y is equal to a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. So y is equal to negative 16 times x minus my h, which is 6, squared plus my k, which is 576. All right. That's vertex form. Now it said write a function in vertex form where the height of the rocket at time t. Okay, well technically this should be h and this should be t, but you get the gist of it. Okay? Write a function in polynomial form for the rocket. I want you to notice that I'm doing letter C next, and then I'm going to do letter B after that. You have to go through polynomial form to get to factored form, so I'm going to do that first. So h is equal to, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to y's and x's because I like them better. Negative 16 x minus 6 squared plus 576. First thing I want to do is I want to do this squared. So y is equal to negative 16 x minus 6 times x minus 6 plus 576. So I need a FOIL. So y is equal to negative 16 times my first is x squared. My outer is negative 6x. My inner is negative 6x. My last is positive 36, close parentheses, plus 576. Continue, combine like terms. Y is equal to negative 16 times x squared minus 12x plus 36 plus 576. Now I have to distribute that negative 16. So I'm going to get y is equal to negative 16x squared. That's negative 16 times x. Then I need negative 16 times the negative 12, and I get a positive 192. That's not a 2. So this is negative 16 times a negative 12x, so I get a positive 192x. Negative 16 times this 36 is a negative 16 times 36 is 576. But wait, I have this plus 576. After the distribution, all of my parentheses are gone. This minus 576 plus 576 cancel. So y is equal to negative 16x squared plus 192x. That's polynomial form, letter C. I then need to step back and do letter B, which is telling me, well, factor negative 16x squared plus 192x. Well, the largest number that goes into negative 16 and 192 is 16. But since this is a negative, I want to take out a negative. The largest variable that goes into x squared and x, remember x squared is x times x. So, and x is just x. So the largest variable that goes into x squared and x is x, leaving me x. When I take out a negative 16, I get 1. When I take out an x, I'm left with x. This plus, when I take out a negative 16x, becomes minus 192 divided by 16 is 12, and this x was factored out here. So this is factored form. Of course, there should be a y equals in front. Sketch a graph of the relationship between height and time. So I know I have 12 seconds, and 0 seconds is when I hit the ground. Nice, I have 12 little marks I can use. I'm going to call this 12. And this is 6. This is 0. So I know I hit the ground at 0, 0. That's what this tells me. And it's going to hit the ground over here at 12, 0. That's what this tells me. My height was 576. That's how high I get at 6 seconds. So 576. If I count by 50s, that will make this 600. And this 300. 576, remember at the very beginning, it tells me at 6 seconds, I'm at 576 feet. So at 6 seconds, I'm going to be right around there. So this is my parabola. My x minimum was 0. My x maximum is 12. I counted by ones. My y minimum was 0. My y max was 600. I counted by 50s. All right, when does the rocket hit the ground? Well, that's what this tells me right here, and I got that from this problem right here. X minus 12 is equal to 0, so x has to be 12. That tells me I hit the ground at 12 seconds. I have a height of 0 feet. I can't spell seconds. No laughing over there, Miss Lexi. There she goes. Find the coordinates of the vertex and the x-intercepts. I already did this. The vertex was given to us at 6, 500. What is that? 576. My x-intercepts we know is 0, 0. That's what this tells me, and it's at 0, 12. How high was the rocket 2 seconds after launch? Well, now I have an equation. So I have it in several forms. So I'm going to go to y equals. Any of these equations will do. I'm going to use this one in blue, vertex form. So I'm going to say negative 16 parentheses x minus 6 quantity squared plus 576. I want time 2 seconds. I can look at the graph, or I can look at the table by hitting second table. 2 seconds, I'm at a height of 320 feet. When will the rocket again be the same height? Oh, come on. Excuse me 1 second. When will it again be at this 320 feet? Well, I'm going to bring up my calculator again. It was 320 feet at 2 seconds. But if I go, I get to my height of 576 at 6 seconds. At 7 seconds, it starts to come back down. And I get 320 feet at 10 seconds. That is the second review.